the Alpha Nerd Podcast. I'm your main host, Kyle, along with my gaming co-host, Andrew.
Hello.
How are you, Andrew?
I'm doing okay. Been busy.
Yeah, well, you know.
As
due to some... we've had some mishaps with, like, recording and stuff. Last episode that you were on with me, we had a malfunction of the mics.
That's true. It was a mic malfunction.
This is our very first at-home session. We are actually not going through the radio station today, only because just some mishaps, and we decided to be on here. And I'm super excited because I get to cuss.
This is Alpha Nerd at Home.
Yes. So, starting with the news, we just had a Nintendo Direct.
Oh my god, did we ever have... We had a Nintendo and a Sony State of Play, actually.
Yeah.
On the same day.
Yeah. I missed out on the Sony one. I didn't realize there was a Sony one, or I would have definitely watched that too. But I did watch the one for Nintendo, and I was actually really impressed.
So I found it very amusing that almost every other game that was on that Direct was a farming or like a farming simulator. It was like, how many of these are there? How can there possibly be that many of these? Everyone saw Stardew Valley and was like, there is money to be made.
I mean, look at what happened with like Minecraft there for a while. Everything was like a Minecraft clone.
That's true. But it's so odd that most of the Nintendo Direct was about that. I did think the Nintendo Direct was stronger than the Sony show, simply because the Sony show showed a lot of games that I didn't particularly care about. Nintendo, I mean, there's the like Ocarina in the Room, which is Zelda, and I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I mean that right there kind of just makes the show. Yeah, like you can't compete with that. Like, what are you gonna do on PlayStation to compete with them dropping Breath of the Wild to like 15 seconds of it? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
They showed off some more God of War Ragnarok, and that was really cool. It looked super good. I'm stoked for that. That is not in the same class as Breath of the Wild 2 for me.
No. So the things I was excited about were like not even some of the main ones. It was they did a quick 1 minute, 2 minute thing of the new Fatal Frame game.
Yeah, there was a clip of it in there. There was a frame of it.
Like there was like 2 seconds of like help Miku get through the dark forest, and then that was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm excited for that.
Pikmin.
I'm still hoping they do a remaster of the first 3 games.
See, I don't have much invested in Fatal Frame, so I mean, I hope they do a remaster because I think it's pretty hard to play them these days, right?
Yes. Well, play them without emulators.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So
emulators exist.
My highlight of the Nintendo Direct, aside from Zelda, was Pikmin. Miyamoto coming out. And you're sitting there like, oh, this is going to be some big announcement. And then he's like, Pikmin. And you're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be Pikmin 4. And then he shows off the Pikmin AR game for mobile.
Yep.
And that was just such a dick move. Like, yeah, it was... like, there were just a lot of people being like, what the actual fuck, Nintendo? And then, of course, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Pikmin 4 is going to be done here in 2023. Here's, like, a 2-second clip of it. Like, I liked Pikmin. I liked the Pikmin games. I enjoyed them very much. And
I did not.
You didn't like the Pikmin games?
No, but they're not my kind of game, though.
The Pikmin ones?
Yeah, I just never really got that into them. Like, I tried them, but I never was like, woo!
That's fair. So. Okay. I get that. It's just, it's a fun, cutesy little game that I always enjoyed. And there hasn't been one in a while, a mainline one. Pikmin 3 was Wii U, I think.
Was it Wii U?
I think it was Wii U, and that was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
The Switch has been out for 5 years now.
Then we also had Octopath Traveler 2.
Did we need another Octopath Traveler? And also, I'll point out, if it's an Octopath Traveler, there's 8 more paths.
So it's
whatever. This is 16 total travelers. Okay?
Yeah. So I'm actually kind of mediocre on this, only because...
Didn't you like Octopath Traveler?
I did like Octopath Traveler. I didn't beat the whole game, but I liked... I got about halfway through, and I just kind of... I was Final Fantasied out. So, I stopped liking it. I stopped liking it when they started revealing, like, the classes, and they're the exact same classes as the first game.
Well, I mean, it probably follows this. Does it follow the same Octopath Travelers? Are they walking the same Octopath?
No, it's supposed to be like hundreds of years in the future, and it's a different set of people.
Okay.
So the generic warrior guy is replaced from the giant broadsword carrying guy to a samurai. The dancer, who was like a secret, like, sexy assassin, is now just optimistic dancer girl.
Okay.
Like, all they did was give you the same class, but slightly change their personalities and probably their motivations. Which I'm disappointed in, because I enjoyed it very much. It was very cliche, but it was very fun to play. It was just refreshing to play. What else did they announce?
There was wasn't there a Kirby game?
Yep, they are a remaster of a Kirby game.
What? Why are they so heavy on Kirby these days? Like, there was Kirby in the Forgotten Land? That was the most recent Kirby.
Yep, and it sold like gangbusters.
That blows my mind. I never thought Kirby was like a top tier Nintendo property, and they released a new Kirby, and like everyone is like, "Oh man, did you see that Kirby?"
It was like in the '90s. It was one of their biggest properties. It was like Mario, Kirby, and then Donkey Kong, and then Pokemon happened, and then everyone kind of forgot about Kirby.
You know the one franchise even Nintendo's forgotten about at this point? Metroid.
Yeah.
They're like, by the way, Prime 4 has been in production for like 8 years now. Like,
very lead.
And they won't even. Yeah, Metroid's one of my favorites, and they're just not even talking about it.
And then we got another Bayonetta trailer.
I'm stoked. October's coming up here. I'm ready for Bayonetta 3.
And unfortunately, you're like, I'm hoping that it's not actually Bayonetta with that character design somebody else. No, it's Bayonetta.
Yeah, I saw. I was disappointed, but whatever. I'll still play it. It's still going to be super fun.
Yes, I'm actually disappointed that they changed the voice actors.
Did they confirm they changed the voice actress? I mean, it seemed like it.
It's completely different voice. Which I'm a little disappointed in.
I mean, yeah, you're still going to play it.
Yes.
Like, question. Yeah, I was gonna say you're still going to play.
Plus the protocol and everything else.
Like, Bayonetta 3 is a game that I will play unless it gets like the worst reviews imaginable. I can't imagine it being bad, because Platinum Games knows what they're doing. They have full like control over the Bayonetta games. Like 2 was such a fun game. The story made no sense whatsoever, but that wasn't the point. That was not the point of the game.
Yeah.
What else did they show? Oh, Various Day Life. Were you stoked for Various Day Life?
I can't think of which one that was.
It was one of the incredibly generic-looking farming/RPG games, but this one was from Square Enix that wasn't Harvestella. It was a weird like RPG side scroller that you like did daily tasks to grow closer in friendship to your buddies while doing kind of like traditional JRPG things.
No, I remember seeing that now.
Has the worst freaking name. Like Various Day Life. That is a trash name.
Yes. Well, also Season of Death also was really weird. I got all excited about seeing the name and I was like, this sounds awesome. They're like, it's a farming simulator that's also Final Fantasy once in a while.
So yeah, this stuff so weird.
Positive note though that they did the add-ons to the N64 emulator.
What were the add-ons for that?
The Mario parties.
Okay, it was the Mario parties.
and Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other games, and James Bond 007 GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, that's right. GoldenEye's coming. I forgot about that.
I am almost tempted to upgrade our package so we can start playing GoldenEye together.
I don't know if you need an upgraded package.
Yes, because the regular thing doesn't allow us to play the N64.
Okay, if you wanna put some extra effort into your package, you're more than welcome to.
Always, you gotta always. So yeah, that was the other high up. Now,
honestly, Harvestella doesn't look bad.
No,
it's a farming sim and kind of a monster hunter game.
Yeah,
I was like, that's weird, but I mean, okay.
Yeah, I'm just like you said, we were like, it was like 50% farming simulator.
Yeah, that was just so odd. Like every other game was about either farming or lifestyle simulation, and it's like, what? Why? I think it's because the Switch has graphics. Like the chip isn't very powerful, so what can you really do with it? I know, make a really good looking turnip. Like, really churn out that farm content. So, do you want to address the Zelda in the room?
Yes, I was gonna say that's the next thing we gotta talk about. Is they finally gave us a title and some shots of the new Zelda.
Yeah, there's about 15 seconds.
Yeah, so it's Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Are you sure it's not Tears of the Kingdom?
I'm pretty sure it's Tears.
I don't know. The English language can go a lot of different ways here.
Yeah, hold on.
It's probably Tears. If you look in the one scene, there's like these gems around one of the pictures. And those are probably the Tears.
Yeah, so
You hate that name?
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
You don't like that? Would you think Breath of the Wild was a good name before Breath of the Wild came out?
Yeah, actually I thought that one was pretty good.
What is the Breath of the Wild? What is that?
But that's why I liked it, because you didn't know. But I guess
it's kind of weird that Nintendo put out this obvious hit piece on the death of Queen Elizabeth, like so soon after.
Yeah.
You saw that they banned the UK live stream of Nintendo stopped their UK live stream out of respect for the death of Queen Elizabeth. You know what? It's really weird to have something called Tears of the Kingdom right after that. Somebody at Nintendo was like, God damn it.
Nailed it.
So, the very little bit of footage that was shown, it looks really interesting. They're doing sky stuff now. I've watched a lot of analysis of the trailer, and there's a common rumor that it's going to involve time travel. Because Link appears very different in a lot of different scenes. He doesn't even have the normal gear on his hip and stuff.
Yeah, and then at one scene he's got the little robot arm.
Yeah.
And then other scenes he doesn't.
There is an idea that it may have time travel in it. You may start the game as Breath of the Wild Link and then get flash forwarded or something like that. Because, there's a lot of Ganon-y stuff here. There's dragons. In one of the screenshots, you can see the end of a dragon in a cloud. There's a lot of Ganon-y stuff. Plus, if you remember back in the very beginning, the very first trailer they released for it, that was definitely Ganondorf as the mummified corpse in that trailer.
That it was constantly in stasis.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a fantastic game. I can't imagine that they would botch the follow-up to Breath of the Wild, but I would like to see more than 15 seconds of it.
Then we also Eno from the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion that we're getting.
It's not even an expansion, it's just her.
Isn't it? I thought they were adding more to that.
Oh, okay. You get her, which is a hero quest, and there's challenge quests. They're extra combat challenges.
Woo.
Yeah, exactly. I am very underwhelmed by I get it. Their expansion pass DLC model is, we give you functionally nothing for paying us $30 to $40 right now. A year later, we'll give you a giant expansion that you could just buy at the same time. when it comes out. I don't think the Xenoblade Chronicles DLC, or Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC is worth it, like at all. I don't. Definitely not right now. Whatever the expansion is next, it's Christmas 2023 is the expansion release date. And
they need to add like more story to it. There has to be more story to it.
So I mean, Golden Country of Torna was very sizable. That was like a 20-hour expansion pack. That was huge. So I'm expecting the same thing for the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion. But we'll see. Right now, it's definitely not going to be worth the money, like at all.
Yeah.
So in the Sony, I didn't think of anything else that was interesting in the Nintendo Direct. There was a new Fire Emblem. I don't care about Fire Emblem.
Neither do I.
Like, blah. I'm okay.
Like, I was more excited about Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
Of course you are. You know what's going to be really great? I'm going to pick up Pokemon Violet.
Shut up.
What? I'm excited for that.
Let it
go. This is not a Disney film. I'm not going to let it go.
Oh my god. Speaking of which, I have so many memes to send you for the new Little Mermaid thing.
I bet you do, Kyle.
Oh, there's some gems.
So, the Sony State of Play. Yes. There was some weird stuff in there, like they're making a feudal Japan Yakuza game. I don't know if have you played any of the Yakuza games?
Not in a long time.
Okay, they're actually pretty enjoyable. Some of them are good. Some of them are just blah. I actually like the most recent one, Like a Dragon. That one was pretty fun. But they're making like a feudal Japan one, and I don't know how to feel about that. It looks interesting. Apparently, it's already been out in Japan, but now it's coming to Western countries. So what else did they show? Tekken 8. Are you a big Tekken fan, Kyle?
Yes and no. I enjoy Tekken, but I have not kept up with it since 4 or 5.
Well, there's an 8 now. And there's a lot of very muscly, angry men punching each other.
That hasn't changed in how many years?
You know what? At some point, they got to realize that punching does not work.
It always works.
It does not work. There was a bunch of other weird, like, little games. The developers behind Nioh, I don't know if you ever played Nioh. It was a really solid take on the Souls games, set in feudal Japan. Very well done, very well executed. They're making an open world samurai game called Rise of the Ronin, but it's not coming until 2024. That one had a pretty cool trailer. It's set during the modernization era of Japan, which I believe that's like the 1800s, late 1800s.
Yeah.
They showed off the dude like stabbing someone with a flintlock with a bayonet on the end, and then pulling it out and shooting the guy right in the face. And I was thinking to myself, that seems like a waste of a shot. You just stabbed that dude with a 2-foot-long bayonet. You don't need to shoot him. Like, you've done the job. He's dead. He is very, very dead. You wasted a bullet. Good for you. Aside from that, once again, God of War Ragnarok coming out in November, and I think it's gonna be good. Like, I can't foresee it being really bad, even if they just stick to the formula of God of War. Like, it'll work. It's just gonna be Kratos running around, boy.
Have you ever recollected any bad God of War games?
I mean, Ascension wasn't that wasn't that good.
Okay.
Like, Ascension was a filler game it was a prequel, I believe, and it just was not very good. 1, 2, and 3 were solid all around. Ascension kind of sucked. There was a bunch of PSP exclusive ones that I never played. I don't know
I played most of them.
Were they good?
They were decent. They weren't anything special either.
Okay, that's fair. But I mean, the reboot, or it's not even a reboot, the sequel that rebooted the genre of the entire series, which was God of War 2018. That game was incredible. That was a title that you didn't really expect to come, because I mean, God of War was a gratuitous violence machine. Like, it wasn't about nuance. There was nothing nuanced about any of those games. It was, I'm angry, I'm going to rip this person in half, and there's going to be some boobs occasionally.
Yeah.
And then God of War 2018 is a touching story about a man's life marred and destroyed by violence, and the child he is taking care of. And, like, what in the hell? Like, who at Sony was like, you know what we should turn God of War into? A thoughtful perspective on fatherhood.
You're right.
Like, I want to say that God of War 2018 lined up with California's, like, legalization of medical marijuana. Like, because I can't think of any other way that you got enough weed for that writer's room. Like,
well, it was as much as I was against it, because I'm just kind of over, like, them remaking games over and over and trying to keep certain games going. I was impressed with God of War Ragnarok, or not
2018.
God of War 2018.
Yeah,
aka 4.
Yeah, right. But that's the crazy thing. They didn't actually call it 4, because when you're playing the game, you don't really know in the very beginning if this is the same Kratos, and then it does come out that, you know, it is the same Kratos, and he's done terrible things, like really, really bad things.
Yep, he killed the world.
Yeah, he had to move.
He had to move. The homeowners association kicked him out.
Yeah, the Greek Hoa threw him out, like, because oh my god, yeah, that game was.
The only thing is if they're gonna keep this series going, after this, they need to move on to another.
I believe they already said that Ragnarok is clearly Ragnarok is the end of the Norse mythology. I think they already said that any future games wouldn't be Norse.
Okay.
Which
would be.
I was gonna say, if you played God of War 2018, you know, at the very end you go to, like, the Nexus place of the giants, where it shows like
treasure trove, and as you're going down, it shows all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it shows like the 4 or 5 different pantheons that are like in existence.
It showed Egyptian, it showed Greek, it showed Norse.
There was one more, I thought.
I think Japanese.
I think you're right. I think it was Japan. Which Kratos in Japan, that's that's gonna be a thing.
Nani.
Boy, Chan. I don't know what you would yell at after that. I'm gonna go with Boy Chan though.
I don't know either. It'll just be awesome though.
All right. Do we want to move on? We actually have a format now. Kyle,
yes, we do.
What is the next format after news?
After news, and since news went on for a little while this time, just because there was actually a lot of news, because
there was a lot of news.
Technically 4 weeks of news that we missed out on, that we didn't get to say because of the mic issue. But as of right now, I haven't played a super lot. I've been trying to find something to play, so I've been experimenting with stuff on my library that's not adult-oriented games.
That's unusual for you, Kyle.
I know. And not really. I haven't been. I still collect them whenever they're $1, but I don't play them as much. It's just because the kids are around all the time, or. But
I mean, I can talk about some games. I haven't had a lot of time to finish games, but I have played games.
Yeah. I retried to solve the mystery of why I couldn't get the last hero.
In Xenoblade?
Oh, yeah, over the weeks. But now that you said there's a patch, I'm going to go try it again.
There is a patch. The very first patch for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 since its July release. It came out like a week ago, I think.
Now, does that show that it's just it was just that well honed tuned that it didn't need it, or?
I doubt that, because as both of us acknowledged in previous shows, it was a buggy game. It still is sometimes a buggy game, although I haven't noticed much since the patch.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of bugginess. Like, if you watch the episode we were talking about it, like the one dude who's half stuck in the
I mean, I will point out,
Mac.
You're locked out of an entire hero. That's a pretty big bug.
Yeah, other than that. But I meant, like graphic glitches, there wasn't a whole lot.
I had a lot of, like, enemies spawning in the ground and stuff, but the thing is, they were still targetable, and their loot still dropped above ground. So it wasn't, like, a problem. It just was disconcerting. But I do want to talk about a couple games that I've put some time into.
Alright, go for it.
So the first one's going to be Temtem. And Kyle, I'm kind of surprised that you haven't looked into Temtem.
I've been looking here and there into Temtem, Pokemon.
Okay, so Temtem, I have a lot of mixed feelings about. I put a few hours into it just to give it a try, and it's like someone. All right, I treat Pokemon as a pretty casual game. It's not a particularly difficult game, but if you want to, you can get obsessed with a lot of the stuff and get very competitive and high level in it. Temtem is the Pokemon game made by people that assume you are obsessed with competitive Pokemon. Like, it does a good job of refining Pokemon's combat. Like, there's no RNG. There's no RNG stuff really at all. The way the elements work is pretty cool. It's always duo battles, and putting supportive elements in a duo together will actually make them more powerful.
Really?
Yeah, it does some clever stuff with the combat. The issues I have is the game very much is in the lieu of early Pokemon games where the game wanted you to grind pretty hard. It rewarded that more than anything. It's a kind of a harken back to harder, earlier Pokemon games with a more cutesy, modern art style. I will say the MMO aspects of it are trash. I don't know why they even decided to make it an MMO. It's cool seeing other players, and you can duel other players later on in the game. There's also like 5... You can do like layer raids with 5 other trainers or something like that. That's cool and all, but the storyline, which is long, I will state that I'm a couple hours in. I'm not particularly far considering how many islands there are in the game, and I've read everybody said that the storyline's like 30 to 40 hours long, which right?
I think the longest Pokemon game was like what?
20?
Gold and Silver.
I mean, they weren't super long.
Gold and Silver was pretty long. I'd say you get 16 hours out of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the longest Pokemon would be maybe 20 hours.
Yeah, so.
But Temtem's way longer.
No.
So like they changed up the breeding where when you breed Temtem, like the Temtem you use to breed a new Temtem, actually their genetics degrade, so they suck at breeding after a while.
Okay.
So you can't like just get an ideal Temtem and pump out babies. There's an auction house for Temtem, which kind of just to me leans more on the aspect of this is some kind of tiny animal slavery like simulator.
Make you slightly more.
Yeah, it does. It's like I'm selling exotic wildlife here. I have very mixed feelings about it. I backed it like 4 years ago on Kickstarter. I paid maybe like $15. Will I keep playing it? I don't know. I don't really know how much I like a hard Pokemon game. Like, I kind of like the casual nature of Pokemon. I'm not a big competitive Pokemon person. I like the world. I like walking around. I like catching stuff. Not really caring if it's the right like temperament or it's got the right EVs or whatever.
See, I don't either. Like, there for a while I did with my buddies, but I was like, this is boring. But fortunately, I had all the Pokemon nerds that really were into it. So they would complete their teams, and then they'd like, you should get your team set up. Kyle's like, that's effort. Why don't you guys give me, like, these are the ones I want to run. So they'll go through all the breeding process for me, and all I was left to do was just level them up.
So I got, like, the very first couple battles I had in Temtem were really weird because I picked the not psychic starter type, mental starter type, and that was fine. And I captured a Temtem out in the wild who was like a giant rat, but a cute rat. And then so I had two Temtem and I can fight in tandem. But my giant rat didn't have any attacks. Like it didn't have any. It had no combat like capabilities.
So there.
It had one ability that basically made the enemy like target it or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't a very useful ability.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how do I win fights here? Like this is weird.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to continue playing it because I think I would rather just be very chill about it instead of that game, which, like I said, clearly wants you to be very invested to do stuff. Like, you gotta have the right combos for all, like, the air quotes, like, gyms, which are boss fights in this case, or you'll get your teeth kicked in. Like, it's weird. It's not built for modern Pokemon enjoyers, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I'm just going through my Steam list while we're talking to see if there was what I tried.
I recently tried out another game called Relicta. It's a game that came out a little while ago. It's supposed to be like a puzzle game in the theme of Portal. You play a research scientist on a base that is trying to solve a bunch of problems, and those problems usually involve solutions regarding two magnetic gloves you have, one which is negative and one which is positive.
Okay.
It's not very good. That's all I can say about it. I beat like the first real level, and some of the solutions I did were infuriating. I did, like in Portal, you feel clever. You're like, I did this. In Relicta, I don't know which one it is, you feel like you just succeeded. Like, you're like, I don't really know what they wanted here, but I did this. I don't feel good about it. This wasn't a clever solution. This was just dumb. And yeah, I'm not gonna continue playing that game. It's not particularly good.
Okay. I'm laughing at my Steam list.
I don't even want to know your Steam list.
Oh no, I'm just looking at the games I played the most.
Don't even want to know your Steam list.
They're not even that bad, actually. That's really surprising me, actually.
Yeah, I am also very surprised.
I have 117 hours in Fallout 4.
Oh, you've been playing Fallout 4?
Not lately, but I'm checking. Like, I have it sorted by hours I've played the most of games.
Mm-hmm.
So my Fallout 4 list is at 117 hours. Battleground PUBG was at 90. I had 64 hours in Among Us.
Oh my god!
Right.
So, speaking of Fallout 76, which I know that's a game you never want to play. It's a game that I weirdly enjoyed. They actually got an expansion pack a couple days ago on Monday, where they added the pit back from Fallout 3. Which was very odd.
Yeah, which I can't say I agree with, because part of what made that great is the NPCs.
So you got to remember, Fallout 76 has NPCs now. Like it's not bereft of NPCs anymore. There was a big update where they added everyone back to the wasteland. There's like cities. Okay. There's like cities and towns and stuff, and traders that wander between places, and they fixed it. they fixed the really stupid idea of, well, there's nobody here.
Okay. That was a bad idea.
What's hilarious is they left some of the tapes from the original release of the game around the world where like people are like, "There's no one here, no one's around," which that's pretty funny. But I was saying I haven't actually tried the Pit expansion yet. I have it installed on my Xbox, and I do want to give it a try out, but I haven't got a chance to do so yet. I am excited to try that though, because I thought Fallout 76, after all the updates it went through, was actually a pretty decent Fallout game. I thought it was better than 4.
Yes, but you know how I feel.
I know how you feel.
If it needs a bunch of stuff to make it playable, I don't think it's good. But that's just me.
Okay, that's fair. So I think that's my review and my review section. Did you have reviews that you wanted to cover?
The only thing like I said, I've been just playing like here and there, like little stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing great, unfortunately. I just haven't had the time to sit down with everything that was going on in my life.
Mm-hmm. That's understandable.
I will say, though, I am playing Mega Man Battle Network 1 again.
How is that game? Is it good?
It is so fun. I have to give it to you. I'll have to give it for you to try.
What is it on?
Game Boy Advanced.
Oh, okay. Alright. I didn't know if they had re-released it or something.
They're going to. There's going to be a big Nintendo Switch where it has like all the first 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, hey, there was supposed to be an announcement here real soon. I know this doesn't fit with this format, but there was supposed to be an announcement here either today or tomorrow about the Resident Evil Village DLC.
There was already.
Oh, there was? Yes. Oh, I must have missed it. All right.
It's nothing too crazy.
Okay.
So we'll go into that because that is something I did partake in. They started out with going over the things they're doing with 8. So they started with the 8 for MacBook and stuff, the cloud versions.
Oh yeah, for Switch. They're doing the cloud versions for Switch as well.
Yep, it's for Switch as well. And then they also went into one for the Oculus.
Oh, they're doing a VR
version, yeah. Like for 8, like you play it through Oculus.
Huh.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Then they talked about the DLC a little bit.
Okay.
Now, I'm a little hesitant on the DLC with some of the stuff they're interesting. Like, I'm absolutely getting it, and I'm gonna love every minute of it. But like how they're doing some of the enemies, most of them are one hits.
Like you are getting one hit by them?
Yes.
Oh, that seems.
Since it's all taking place in your mind, they like I guess it's other consciousness of the inside the
parasite.
Mitochondria or whatever. Not mitochondria. Megamycete.
Yeah.
And I guess they're just trying to take you over.
So is it like a stealth game?
No, you still fight them, but as Rose is searching through her head, I guess you unlock more powers to get more control over the fungus, and you can do other things. Like one of the powers they showed was she can freeze them.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
She can freeze them.
Yep. But I think it's all just, since it's all taking place in her mind, it's just an inner mind thing.
Huh. Oh. Okay.
They were getting more into the. They were getting more into the third person aspect. I don't know if I like it or not.
Because you can replay the entire regular game as third person, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know how I feel about that, because when I was looking at it, and they were showing some clips of it, it looks really out of place with some of the cutscenes.
Yeah, I can imagine that it probably wouldn't be great with some of the cutscenes.
Like the when you're putting the eyeballs inside the one statue.
Yeah.
And he picks it up and looks at it to make sure he's like, inspecting it before he puts it in.
Yeah.
He still does that. Like literally just does that. So it looks really awkward.
Oh.
From a third person angle.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
The other scenes I think are going to be really weird are the first introduction of Heisenberg.
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
think that's not going to have the same effect at all.
Well,
I don't think
by pulling the camera out, you're removing a lot of the intimacy in the game. A lot of the psychological impact of the Resident Evil 7 and 8 games is you are that player. That's kind of where that horror comes from. By pulling yourself back to third person, you're going to lose a ton of impact. And I am not entirely certain why they're doing it that way, unless they're just doing it as like an homage to Resident Evil 4, which they're remaking anyways.
Which they might be, and either way, I'm okay with it. We'll give it a try, see how it goes.
Yeah, once the DLC comes out, I'm probably going to pick up the whole thing on PC and just replay through it, because that is a game I really want to replay.
Yeah, same here. And then they went a little bit into 4.
Oh, what did they say about 4?
They just showed some quick images of like what it's going to look like, what Leon Kennedy looks like.
Okay.
And he's just a really HD version of what he was like in the first 4.
Oh, he didn't get Chris Redfield?
No, he didn't get Chris Redfield.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fair.
So I'm excited about that. We're supposed to be getting a actual full-on Resident Evil showcase next month.
I mean, that makes sense. It's October.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Speaking of which, we got to figure out what we should do for the month of October.
Do you want to be spooky, Kyle?
I think we want to be spooky.
You want to be spooky? All right. Shark Dating Simulator live stream.
Yeah, no. That's creepy. That's not spooky. No. We'll have to actually, because I am going to call a team meeting here soon to figure out some things.
A huddle?
Yeah.
You're going to call a huddle up?
Yeah, because I want to discuss with Greg and Dan about maybe visiting some spooky areas. You know, the one area like Crystal Lake was based off of for the Friday the 13th. The other place that everyone visits all the time, that's the inspiration of
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
You mean Centralia? Everybody's banned from Centralia now, though. Like, they're seriously banning people from it because people were just like trashing the entire area.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I haven't decided what we want to do.
Why don't you do a Silent Hill retrospective?
Oh, I plan on doing that. I think
Kyle's like, you don't have to say that. That was automatic. Like, what are you talking about?
No, but that's actually. Let me put it again. I had that idea, but I also I want to do some extra stuff. You know, just trying to branch out our brand a little bit. You know, whatever.
How about brand?
I think that is a good idea. Silent Hill. Have you played any of them?
Yeah, I've played 2, and let's see here. I played 2. I played. Oh my god, it's been a while. I didn't play the one. I haven't played the Room one, whichever one that was.
Okay.
And I didn't play the really crappy ones that weren't made by Konami.
Okay, give me 1 second because I have them right next to my desk.
Okay.
Oh.
We're pausing so that Kyle can locate his Silent Hill games.
I didn't need you to pause. I literally just had to stand up and reach for them.
We are now unpausing as Kyle gets his Silent Hill games from near his desk.
Yes. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Origins, Shattered Memory, Homecoming, and Downpour. I have them all, actually.
What one was 3?
3 is the one where you play the girl.
You know, I don't know if I think I may have only played 2.
Yeah, well, maybe that's something me and you can sit down and do.
Oh, we'll be playing through Silent Hill and Kyle be like, spooky right here.
Spooky. No, but as a, you know, I've played through all of them. The only ones I have not played through all the way were Origins and Shattered Memories, but I watched somebody else play through those. Homecoming.
Wasn't Homecoming the really bad one?
Homecoming is the terrible one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought that was like the really, really bad one.
So
Yeah, maybe that might be something we can do. If I'm playing those really scary games, though, you have to play a really scary game, like Barbie Horse Adventures.
Oh, you mean scary bad. And you played Outlast.
Yeah, I played Outlast. I did not play the second one. The second one didn't really interest me that much.
It's not bad, though. It's good. Actually, I think it's better than the first one. What was that? You kind of broke up there. All right. Aesthetically, the second one is scarier.
Aesthetically, okay.
The aesthetic, the environment, the feel, everything is way
spookier.
Scarier, is in my opinion. It's way more. It unsettles you a lot more, but the storyline is
All right, Kyle. What about we do a Phantasmophobia stream with Greg and Dan?
First of all, we got to get them both computers, and Dan's barely willing to spend money on a shirt. He's just that person. He just doesn't like spending money. So to get him to get a computer to play games on.
What do you even need for Phantasmophobia? Like, it's not a lot of specs, is it?
It's actually moderately intensive.
Ah, really?
You should take a look. You have technology around you.
No, that's a lie. No technology around here.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be too bad. Or doing a long play of that together. But I feel like we should do something because we have 2 weeks that we have to do. So.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll get it sorted out offline.
Yes.
So that anyone who's listening to this does not have to continue to listen to us plan things.
But the thing I want to talk to you about, since we were talking about it just a little bit, is you're making progress in Xenoblade.
Yeah, I am. It's slow but steady, and I'm having a good time.
Good. And you actually got to one of the main parts I wanted to talk about was the pirate captain.
Yeah, that is the weirdest shit. I don't get it. Like
his mechanic is so out of the realm.
All right, so he's a member of Mobius that doesn't care about being in Mobius. That's kind of weird. 2, he's the logical conclusion of all the Mobius enemies being weird caricatures of, some role. At this point, I'm expecting there to be an actual clown Mobius that shows up on, a unicycle, honking at the Mobius giant red nose. I know there's a jester. Already. I mean an actual clown.
That would have been awesome.
Because, having a stereotypical pirate captain Mobius is just... I'm playing the game, and it's hard to take these villains seriously, because they're so... They feel like kind of shitty Disney villains. I like the story, but the Mobius enemies are just not intimidating, at all. They're just... It seems like they're 5 seconds away from breaking out into a villainous song at any given moment. So when they introduce the pirate Captain Mobius, who's actually a good guy... You're like, what the hell, game? And then you do the little hero quest, which is whatever. You could have just fought him right off the bat instead of running to all the different islands with your dumb boat. But then you get him as a hero, because he's like, oh yeah, I'm actually, I'm a cool dude. I want to punch some Mobius people now. Which, I want to point out that so far they said Mobius, eats death. He's not going to be getting any death to eat, so how long is he really going to be able to survive?
I don't know, or care.
Yeah. So
he was just awesome. His character arc was awesome, but
his class, what is it? Soul Killer. That's the class, and you get anchors on your arm. You punch with anchors, which makes no sense. I'm gonna point out that
it makes all the sense. If I was gonna punch somebody, I'd punch somebody with anchors on my arms.
All right, why is the aesthetic pirate themed, but the actual class has nothing to do with piracy?
I don't know.
It's so weird.
Here's the weird part, and I'm gonna spoil this part for you just a little bit.
Okay.
Because some of these classes you can't get them to unlock on the other characters in time for the end of the game.
I've noticed that. Like, I've been trying to get another tank class, and I have the one Guardian hero just tagging with me. I have somebody else as a Guardian, and it increases at such a slow rate for some of the characters that I'm sitting here like, I don't think I can unlock this on anybody. Like,
yeah, like the team, and then your team's a little unbalanced because you're like, I have all these completed, and
yeah, it's really weird. I don't like that they earn hero unlock XP at different rates. I think that's stupid. I think everybody should unlock at different rates or at the same rate, because utility in those classes are different anyways. Like, each one of your characters has a E through A rating in a class. Let them just unlock it. It doesn't matter if they suck at it. They don't need to get less XP to unlock, or it doesn't need to be slower. That's my main complaint.
My thing is, when I first started going through this, it should have been like, when you were going through the A through E stuff, it should have been like, all right, so to get this class, hero class, you should complete this other class that has an S in this part and an S in this part. You know what I mean? Like, to match the stats. So, like, the Blade Master has an S on attack. The gun one has an S on attack and an S on another stat. And that other stat is in, like, one of the Taunter Guardian classes. So I figured if you'd max out both those, it'd give you a higher percentage chance to unlock that one for that character.
Yeah, no. I was not a fan of the way they did they're doing the class progress. Like, I think that was a bad move. It's too slow. It's way too slow. And I know you're supposed to, if you want to speed it up, you can put multiple people on the same class. I don't have multiple people for some of these classes.
And speaking of which, I don't have all my people unlocked for their master 20 level things either.
How do you get those? Is that later in the game?
Yeah, they're just random. And then as I was reading, because I got mad because I couldn't figure it out. You get like the first 3 people.
Yeah.
And then I was like, cool. And then I was like, where are the other ones? Because I'm really close to the end of this game. This is really close to the end. And then I find out it's just really, really obscure how to do it. Like, the one, you have to have the one person equipped and be the leader of the party. And then you have to go to this island in this certain direction, or it doesn't work. And I'm like, this is too much.
Ugh, yeah, I'm not a fan of ways of doing that. I like Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think it has some esoteric stuff that didn't need to be like that. Also, it's a smaller, like a bit of a smaller world than I expected. I thought it was going to be a bit larger, like overall.
It's pretty large, but
it is. You learn it, yeah, but once you, like you said, once you learn the flow of the world, it seems smaller.
Yes.
But I do like the combat system. I think the combat is way better than 2.
I think the combat is perfect. I think the storyline's great. I just, like you said, and like the gun class. Have you gotten anybody else to unlock the gun class?
No, I haven't. Okay. The gun class is fantastic. That is one of the best classes in the game.
Yes, but unfortunately only Uni gets to use it.
Yeah. Yep. Why'd they pick... I don't even understand why they picked Uni for that one, but whatever.
It was just random.
It's so dumb.
So, like I said, there's a lot of things I'm disappointed in. I thought about going back through and just trying to upgrade everybody. Mm-hmm. But I just don't have it in me because there's going to be no changes to anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it, I think, at that point.
It's just going to make the final boss easier. Mm-hmm. And the final boss was hard. I was at level...
Were you playing on normal?
Yes.
Okay.
I was at level, like, 80. And it was still difficult. Like, I died the first 2 or 3 times to try it. Like, I had to figure it out, and then once I figured out the balance on how to just... Because it's just like one of those bosses where you have to tank the certain special abilities, and, like, every game has the guy who casts instant death.
Of course.
Just one of those things. But once you learn how to see that and how to appropriately deal with it, you're like, oh, okay. And now it's just really long-winded and it takes forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are actually getting very low on time.
Yep.
So, is there anything else you would like to go over?
We're still working on the Teespring Store. It is officially up. I'm going to put the link on there. We're still trying to figure out the whole situation with why we can't have two different designs.
Yeah, that seems like a situation.
So other than that, I think we'll just post it up as it is now, and we'll try to still figure that out. We have some other things we want to work on. I want to have a team meeting, and we're going to figure out a Halloween theme month for us to have. So we're all going to have that off here. Next week, we're going to be on the radio station channel again, and we're going to talk about How I Met Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
Oh, it was awesome.
I am stoked. Kevin Smith is one of my favorite filmmakers. So
I just tagged him on our Twitter, and he actually hit us back on it. So
wow,
that was really cool of him.
Yeah,
He's a really cool guy.
I'm stoked. I cannot wait to hear that story.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're going to call that a show at this point.
Okay, sounds good. We had a lot to cover.
Yeah, we did. Well, you had a lot to cover. I just kind of supplemented.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night.